right. And we're back. Welcome, part two.
Part two, baby.
The deuce. No worries. Sorry about that, buddy, man. Stuff happens. Like I said, I appreciate it, man.
I take no problem being a techie myself. I'm used to this type of thing, but I do apologize if I messed up.
Man.
Oh, you're good, man.
that works out perfect, man. We're happy to have you on. No, but all right, man. So let's get started. So, like, obviously, the first question we got to ask, man, googly goo. That's an interesting name for a barbecue, man. I love to hear the origin story, how that got going.
Sure, no problem. I actually started Good Googly Goo Barbecue in 2018, and at the time, I was just trying to come up with a name for the team, the company, wherever it would take me, And one of the things, I'm a big fan of Sanford & Sons. There's a character on Sanford & Sons, old TV shows. You guys might be too young to know about Sanford.
I'm coming to see you. There you
go. But there's a character on there, Grady, and he used to always use that term, googly goo, Fred. Fred. I'm bad at trying to do the impression, but I just got that. I was just looking for something that was catchy, kind of corny. I just know people remember stuff like that. There's a name that it'll stick with you. When we go to competitions, people see the name and they'll come up to me and just tell me, I love the name. So I think I hit it with coming up with that name.
Good deal, man.
For sure, buddy. So how did you get? So your origin story, is it kind of like everybody else? You kind of competitive guy, and you saw Pit Masters, and
you hit it on the head. I'll tell you, back in the day, I think it was I forget a Destination America used to run those marathons.
Yeah,
those master shows every Saturday. I mean, starting at like midnight, maybe, or sometime in the middle of the night. They would run all day, and I was home. I just got caught up. I was watching it, and I was like, man, I already knew how. I could cook a little bit, grill and smoke some meats and what have you. But it's that competitive nature that was, in me that had me want to. I say, you know what? Hey, you should go out there and give that a shot. And I did it my first time in 2018, and it just been hooked ever since then.
I got you, man. How was your first contest? Was it kind of like ours, where you just hung around with some buddies and had some beers, or did you go?
Well, I tell you, I went to a contest first, and I talked to some guys, and just from meeting people on the internet and what have you, and watching people's videos on YouTube. I knew a few guys here in the area. For those that don't know, I'm in the Mid Atlantic. I'm in Maryland, and they had a contest up in where was that? I forget where, Hagerstown, Maryland. And that was my first contest that I attended just as a spectator. And I walked around and saw what the guys were doing and how they were cooking. And it just, I was like, you know what, I really want to give this a shot. And then I had a contest coming up that year in June, the Beltway Barbecue Showdown, which was in Upper Marlboro, Maryland. And it was probably about 10, 15 minutes from the house. I was like, you know what, I'm going to jump in this thing. And it was a unique contest because although it was a Master Series contest, they gave you the option to register for the individual meats. So if you just wanted to do chicken or you just wanted to do ribs, you could just sign up for those meats. And I actually registered for chicken and ribs, because that's what I had been practicing and watching all of the YouTube videos. And I said, I'll jump out there, not really understanding the concept with the backyard and the Master Series, but I just called myself jumping in there. Little did I know, jumping in that contest automatically threw me into the Master Series category in that contest, because it was a Master Series contest, regardless of how many categories. So on that day, you'll see 2 zeros for the big meats, for pork and brisket, because I didn't register for those, but they still included them. But unfortunately, I'm not one of those guys who jumped out there in their first contest and hit top 5 or top 10. You hear those stories, and that was not me. I didn't finish at the end. I was in the middle of the pack with those 2 meats, and but it was enough to get me hooked guys. And after that, I think I did 2 or 3 more that year. Back 1 or 2, but one backyard, maybe another Master Series contest, and that was it for 2018. And then after that, it was balls to the wall those next few years, and I've just been going ever since. So,
good deal.
I hear you, man. That's kind of like I think a lot of us on the pod is like you know, especially like when you hear your name called that first time. Like that was the most expensive name shout out I ever heard in my life. It's like, oh, you know, just on a small batch barbecue. I'm like, and there's $50,000.
Yeah, that's a true story right there, because ever since that first time, I mean, and I think my first one, it may not even been a walk. It might have just been a call, you know.
Yeah. My name. It's me.
I want to say it might have been like a 6 or 7 place chicken was my first.
Of course,
it was my first call. Yeah, and then they just started. It became a snowball thing, and the few things we started hearing the name call.
I hear you, man.
And walking.
So y'all done a fair number of competitions last year. You started planning out your competition schedule at the beginning of the year. So what do you look for when you're planning out your competitions?
Well, it's interesting you say that, because last year I think Barbecue Data says we did 33 contests, I think. But at the beginning of the year, we did not have the intention of doing 33 contests, but they just seem to pile up. I'll pick a few in the beginning of the year, just looking at where we want to travel. That was another thing last year. We decided we were going to do something different and try to find different. We were so used to competing here in the Mid-Atlantic, which goes North Carolina, South Carolina, on up to headed up north into the New England area, New York, and we just said we wanted to go out west or maybe go south, and so we decided to start early, and last year, and we ended up going to Florida, and we did as you know that starts off around January, February if you can make it down there to Florida. Well, you guys are down there in the south, it's a little warmer down there. It was supposedly, because it wasn't Florida heat that we would expected. But last year we started off in Florida, and I think we did two or three probably 3 contests down there. Because they were fairly close, and I contacted a few guys that I knew down there in Florida, teams that compete down there, and I said, hey, we're thinking about coming down, and if we come down, can I leave my trailer? And we decided we would fly back and forth, those first few. So that's what we did last year in Florida. And shout out to Matt Barber at Hawachula. He allowed me to park my trailer in between the contests, and we would right after the contest we would drop it, take it where we had to drop it, and fly back. But that's how we started, and we seem to start off this same way again this year. We did 2 contests in Florida. We did the Jimmy Jam, and then we did the Lakeland contest.
Okay.
So
yeah, but I saw on your schedule, you plan to go out west, man. So how is that going to be? Like, you going to pull your trailer out there, or you going to try to meet up with some guys and get some rental equipment?
Yeah, well, it just depends. Like last year, I mean, well, going back to what I was saying with the 33 contests, we didn't set out to do that many contests, but what happens, we have in the Mid-Atlantic, we have a lot of doubles around here. So, a lot of those, out of those 33, I would say at least 8 of them may have been doubles, that we did throughout the year. So, it's not 33 weekends,
right?
But so we just I'll look at there are a few contests that you learn to that you over time you like certain contests. You say we'll be back. We love the organizers, or we love the setup, or we love the people, or the location, things like that. And that's what I'll look at early in the year. As they start rolling out those contests on the KCBS website. And I think right now I picked about 8 to 10 that we would start off this year. And like I said, we've done 2 in Florida, and we have planned. We'll be down there in Nashville, Lebanon, Tennessee, for the Smoke on the Shores. I just, that's one of those things. I've never done that before, but it's one of those that people, other competition teams will tell me, "Hey, that's a nice contest. You should check it out." So that's
our backyard, man.
When you said Tennessee, Nashville, I was like, yeah, that's your home territory.
That's a hell of a contest, man. I'll tell you what, Smoke on the Shore. Let's see, we had Jason the host on it. That was one of our earlier episodes, but man, that's Murderer's Row, dude. Like, you coming out there, like you hit there, man. It's outside of a world. I mean, that's probably one of the most stacked contests you're going to see of the year.
Oh,
Yeah,
sure.
I watched I remember watching the award ceremony last year. I like to watch the awards.
Yeah.
Remotely if I'm not there.
Sure.
And I remember, you just seeing who was there. That's how I find out who competed. And it just seemed like a good contest. I think that's the one that has the records or the guitar or something.
Yeah.
I said, I have to get down and get me one of those. Yeah. So that's my goal. We said we would go down there and do that. And then, it just seems like, what is it? A month and a half later, we'll be right back there for the KCBS World Invitational. Yeah. So,
little practice section.
Yeah, there you go. and I thought about I was like, well, we could potentially leave a trailer there. It's a long time because we're talking what's that, March, the middle of March, and then the KCBS is at the end of May. So yeah, so I haven't decided we were going to leave the trailer, but I was saying that the logistics of it all, just trying to plan the highway miles that we're going to put in. Geographically, do we want to leave the trailer somewhere, or do we want to have to fly? But to be honest with you, I'm in my comfort zone when I do have my trailer. I can't. It's been a while. I did start with a tent, but I love to have my trailer there. So if I can fly in and leave the trailer or something like that, that's fine. But this year we decided to do something different. We're going to California for the first time to compete.
There you go.
That's going to be in June. And that's going to be that's in June, and that's going to be one where we're going to be flying out. I'm coordinating with some guys out there to see if we can get the cooking equipment that we'll need to to cook, and some pop up and a camera or something like whatever we're going to need. So that's going to be going back to the old school, cooking under the tent. But we're looking forward to it. It's one of the biggest ones in California, and it seems like it's a very big festival. And we're just looking forward to that one.
You'll probably pull all the big West Coast guys there, I'm sure.
Yeah. But you got that right.
Man, I got a question, man. You're our first North guy we've had on our show. Like, what's the cooking profile you guys got up north versus south? Because down south, we like it, sweet like tea. Like up north, I mean, y'all about the crab cakes and football. What's your barbecue?
Yeah, well, when it comes to barbecue, if you're talking about non-competition. We love to do seafood. We're known for in Maryland, we're known for crabs, but I'll throw shrimp out there. I just did some salmon the other day, but we'll do. I've smoked crabs before. I just throw them out there for a little while. Crabs, clams, you name it, mussels. We'll throw it all out there. But it's still barbecue. I mean, my favorite meat to cook is still a brisket. A good Central Texas style brisket. Just today and over the weekend, I did pork belly. That's becoming one of my favorites. I mean, it's just I guess that's the fat boy in me because it's got so much fat and that flavor that it's
bacon, man. It's bacon. I mean, hell, if you don't like bacon, I don't want to be. I can't be friends.
Hey, who doesn't love bacon?
Right.
Yes, I love a good pork belly. I did. I just cut it into 2 sections over the weekend and did it, and put some nice rub and put a glaze on top of the rub towards the end, and everybody loved that. And today I had a few strips left, so I just threw them out there and put some rub on them and let them smoke for about 3 hours and brought them in and cut it up and threw it in the pan and put some sauce. And next thing I know, I had pork belly burnt ends. So
that's hilarious. Hey, for KCBS up there, are they like it more savory up north, or is the flavor profiles changing for because you travel all over?
But and that's the thing. I try not to get caught up into the different regions and what they may or may not like. We've got some tough judges up here in the Mid Atlantic. I mean, you'll hear people talk about the scoring here. For a long time it was tough to get a 700, but you can GC here in the Mid Atlantic with a 699. I mean a 689 or 690 or something like that. So right. They're pretty tough and they're all over the place with the scoring. So that being said, I just try to keep it straight down the middle, regardless of where I go.
Just pick your program every time.
I try to stick to the same thing. Yeah. And sometimes you get confused and you can throw yourself off. When you hear people say, "Oh, they like it sweet here," or dial it back with the heat or things like that. And next thing you know, I'm chasing it, but I don't know. How do they know? What's their qualification to tell me that? They told me in Florida, it's they like it sweet down there. But I said I'm just not gonna get caught up in that. I mean, to me, once you throw all that sauce and everything on, it's already sweet. Those sauces are sweet. You can put a little heat, but I just try to keep it consistent in the middle of the road, and I think if I do that, regardless of where I go, as long as I can cook it right, get that tenderness right, I think it's going to be fine, regardless of where. And that's just my opinion, And you hear some people say that, but I really do believe, to use what we always hear, it's a tenderness game. It really is. If you get that tenderness, those judges they're going to love that barbecue.
Well,
as long as you keep it inside the box.
You cracked the code, man. You're like the judge whisperer here lately, man. Every time I see watching your scores and stuff, man, I always see it up there at the top 5 every time, man.
I tell you, it's been
you got the that Instagram, you got to figure it out, man.
No, I tell you, it's a wild ride. You guys know how it is with this competition barbecue. I mean, you be up in the top one day, and then I just keep thinking about last year, the way we ended one contest, which is right here in our home, the only home contest in my home state, and we finished so bad in that contest, and we walked away, scratching our heads. Still can't understand it, but yet we had just RGC'd maybe. A week or two ago, a week before that, so
it happens, man.
Judging, it's all over the place. You just got to. You're going to have those days. If you cook enough, you're going to have those days where you're going to lay an egg, as we say. But if you keep cook enough, you're going to hit as well. So
right.
You got to take the good with the bad, right?
Right, absolutely.
So, man, we know that you rock with a Springer Mountain Chicken, for your comp meats. Are there any other brand specific that you use for pork, brisket, that you look for when you selecting your competition meats?
It varies. If you want to talk about the big meats, when it comes to brisket, I've cooked the Snake River A9s from Kevin down there at the butcher shop in Pensacola. I've also cooked Snake River. The key is pretty much knowing how to cook each one, because those are two different meats in my book, and you have to cook them different. As they may know, I cook on drums, so I'm putting some very intense heat on those big meats, but it's just a matter of cooking. So it really depends. These meat people, the different times of the year, the meat may change. It might have more fat at one time. Better fat caps, or sometimes they might not be what you're looking for. So I'm just looking for whatever is going to give me that best chance to win on Saturday, and and not blow out the pockets at the wallet at the same time. So
I understand that for sure.
I'm always looking for a good deal. So but I want some good meat. I want some good meat. You want to go in. I mean, it also boosts your confidence level. If you go in there with a nice cut that you're confident about. You're going to cook better with it, and
absolutely,
that's just what I do. So like that, brisket, I've cooked both. Pork, I've been mainly cooking Prairie Fresh. I like their ribs. I've cooked the primes and the naturals. As far as the pork butts, I've gone to my local grocery store and found some good commodity pork and have scored with that as well. So and I've done the prime. I think I cooked Prairie Fresh prime butts early, the first two contests, but it just depends. I mean, I'm looking for, I don't know if I'm really caught up in the brand, but I will, certain meat, my chicken, I've been cooking the same chicken for the past 4 years, and I know what I'm getting. And, so I guess that's why I've been sticking with Springer Mountain Farm. But when it comes to the ribs or the butts or the brisket, I'm looking for good marbling, something's going to give it some good flavor and good cuts, and, whoever had, I'm not a slave to the brands when it comes to that, So I just, if they can give me some good meat, hey, I'm with you. I want to win, and I think that's the goal. We want to get out there and give yourself the best chance to win. So
sure, yeah, man. That comment you say, when you get your good slab of ribs or whatever, meat, man, you get that good slab, it's gonna be legit, man. When you go in the weekend, you like. Gonna get it, this weekend.
I tend to I'll baby it a little bit more. I'm like, whoa, go watch that. Do not burn that, or don't let it get too dark or whatever. So
exactly, man.
Like,
good.
That's the show ribs. Don't look at those, man. Don't touch them.
Right. Right, but at the same time, you get those good ones, and you get to award ceremony, and you can get yourself checked real quick.
Quick.
Like, what in the world?
When I cook the trash ribs, when I do the best.
There you go.
You know what I mean? Like I get those big, thick, nice marble ones, and I screw them up every time, and I just rucks at myself every time. No, man. So are you a leg or a thigh guy?
I cook thighs. I have never cooked legs in a competition. I said I was going to try it one day, but I just haven't gotten around to it.
Don't rock the boat, man. What are you talking about?
No. I'm sticking with the girl I brought to the dance. I gotta rock
this girl on the land right now. I'll be riding that thing all the way to prom.
Yeah, you got that. You got that right. Yeah. And that was another thing. I think last year or the year before, a lot of people were saying, well, they're beginning to lean towards liking legs, and you go down south, legs are really hitting down there in Georgia or Alabama or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I'm bringing thighs. They're gonna let them do what they do, baby.
No. So do you ever throw in the wings in there with it, or you run pure thighs?
Well, I did wings. When we went to Jack Daniels, they required to have another cut of meat. So I a little bit before that, I started practicing with the wings just to see how it would go. And I was actually surprised. I was like, wait a minute, these are pretty good, But at the same time, I don't want to. It's almost like the brisket and the burnt ends. They're going to judge you on everything in that box, and I would hate to give them some good thighs, and the wings don't bite right to them or something. When they bring them down. So I try to put the best thing in the box. So to answer your question, yes, I have cooked wings before, and I've put them in the box, but it's not my thing. I was it last year. Everybody was saying that was the trend. People. They're still doing them. They're still doing them. Some people going the wings in the box, but I just don't want to chance it. I think if I could just put a good meat in it, just like brisket, if you can put good brisket slices in there, why give yourself a chance to have your score, unless your burnt ends are better. Sometimes your burnt ends can be better than your slices, but then you get caught up with the judging. Every judge considers a burnt end different. Exactly. Some don't like the fat in there. Oh, it's too fatty or whatever. Or some say, oh, you rendered too much fat. It's a little tough. So same thing with the chicken. I'm just sticking with the thighs for now. And, so if I may have given it away, if I'm at a contest and a judge has 5 boxes of legs and one thighs, I guess they're going to know that's my thighs.
I don't know what your name called last, man. That seems to be the trend.
Yeah. I'm a thigh guy, and that is the thing. When I go out there, that's the thing. When we go out there, we want to win, right? And it's very disappointing when you don't win. Everybody goes out thinking that they should walk away the winner, but when I go there and I spend the money and everything that it takes before we even light those drums on Saturday and to get home and what have you, I want to win.
You gotta have that Mamba mentality, man.
Yeah, that's it.
You gotta get that Mamba mentality, man. So when you cook thighs, you like the thicker thighs, like starting off, or you a certain weight, or are you specific? Yeah. You don't have to tell us like specifically, but like
no. It's not necessarily. Well, I will look for the bigger packs. When I go to the store, and I'm fortunate enough where I can find Springer Mountain chicken right here at my local grocery stores, and I'll go in there and look for. The 4-packs. I get the 4-packs, and I'm comfortable if those 4-packs are 2 pounds or more. And that's what I'm looking for. I can go a little less, but when I trim them, I'm going to try to get them down there so that they all look similar.
Right. That's what I do. I had to buy down here, man. I have to buy it by the case, the thighs sometimes, because I'll go through. So I like starting personally. It's just me. I like starting over 8 ounces, and I'll cut it down to about 5 ounces. It's just hard. Like I'll go. My wife's like, "Why are you throwing all these chicken thighs away?" And I'm like, "They're trash. What are you talking about? It's just trash. It's competition barbecue. It is where we're probably some of the more wasteful cooks in the world.
Right?
Because if it ain't perfection, we're not going to cook it. But no. So, but speaking
of, that's the thing, Logan. I'll go in there and get a 4-pack, and I'll have one chicken thigh that's about 8 or 9 ounces, and then you'll have one that's about 4 point, 4 point something, and then you'll have the other ones that are like 5 point and 6 point something. So I'll buy 4 to 5 packs of 4-packs, and I usually try to take 12 around 12 to the contest. So I'm going to lose 4. I'm going to lose those big gigantic ones. But you say you like to cook those. It's a lot more meat in those. But those ones that are in the middle, I'm probably going to find more of those out of those 4 or 5 packs to give me the 12 that I need. But I've taken those on, like sometimes it's a double. I'll get all the biggest ones and put all the biggest ones together and cook those one day, and then the smaller ones I'll cook those the next day or something like that. And I play with it. The thing is, if I can start up with them kind of looking uniform in size and look, I'll roll with that. And depending on that size, that's going to determine. I might have to push them a little further, or I might have to pull them a little sooner. But that's the thing about getting them all in the same neighborhood, because you might have that little small one that's done way sooner than that one that started off at 7 or 8 ounces. So
right.
It's just a matter of just trying to get a consistent cook on the chicken.
I understand.
Yes, sir.
So I know competition cooks were very well, I mean, the elite guys like you for sure. And I'm trying to I'm working on it. I'm working on it. But, we're very regimented. I mean, AJ for sure is like that. Very regimented the week prior. It's like game day. Like I play college ball and I'm like, I have my traditions like weekly. This is what I do. Monday, I do this. Tuesday, I do that. Like walk me through your week. Like, are you buying like chicken on Monday and like trimming on Wednesday, making sauces, or what's your week looking like?
Well, I do try. One of the things when it comes to my chicken, I do try to buy chicken the week of, if possible. Usually, so I may go get my chicken on a Sunday, or I may go get it on a Monday. It depends. My local grocery store where I buy it from, I know when those trucks are coming in. Usually, sometimes I'll get there Monday morning, and he's still in the back unloading that truck that came in the morning.
Man, let me help you load the truck.
Right, exactly. So he'll tell me to come back, in a couple of hours or something like that once they put it out. But I like to get those fresh ones that just came in, because I look for the expiration date or sell by date on there, and I like for that date to be after the date of the competition. And that's a little tip I threw out there. But I do like for my chicken to be, when I buy it, I don't want it to be too old. So, but that being said, I've always heard people talk about freezing, trimming or getting chicken and freezing it. I've always been scared to do that.
Same here.
I buy my chicken that week of, but I did do it one time. I'm not gonna say which contest, but I did it one time recently, and I did get a first place 180 with some chicken that I bought. I vacuum sealed it and let it sit in the freezer for about 3 or 4 weeks. And I was shocked. But I was like, you know what? I was so scared, but I was like, I'm never doing that again. But it worked. So it worked. So that just goes to show you, you never know. You just got to practice with it. I hadn't practiced with frozen chicken like that before, but I lucked up and it worked. So
I know. I mean, I talked to a lot of elite like proteins and stuff like that, and that guys like you, like an AJ, like I cook only fresh. And then I know guys that, they do so many comps that it's, and they have that work schedule that they have to, prep and trim and, freeze a couple comps that, 2 weekends in a row, they'll cut, 2 weeks and do that. And, I haven't heard from either one of them that they've seen any difference, but I mean, it's how it is. I mean, whatever you prefer.
Yeah, I mean that's just my thing, and
I get it. It works. So why change it? Like you said, you got the girl, so don't stick with her.
Right, and with competition barbecue, we get set in our ways, right? So if certain things are winning for you, or you're kind of nervous when you try to change something,
absolutely.
Hey man, that's working.
The dirty word in competition barbecue, man.
Exactly. So I'm scared to change things like that, but so I do get my chicken, at the beginning of the week, usually on Sunday or Monday. I get lazy sometimes, to be honest with you. And chicken is the one meat that I hate trimming. It's my most successful meat, but it's a love-hate relationship that I have with it. And people call it devil's meat or what have you. But I really it's the longest trim. I sit here and I watch people say, "Oh, I trimmed 4 packs in 30 minutes or an hour." When I'm sitting here, it's taking me an hour and a half, 2 hours to get through 4 packs. So I don't understand it. But it's working for me, and are there shortcuts I can take? Yes, but I'm just scared, once again, to make that change. So I'll try to trim my chicken. Usually, I used to tell myself to do it on Monday, but then I get lazy, procrastinate. Next thing you know, it's Tuesday, and I've done it as late as Wednesday. But I try to get the chicken out of the way, because once I get that out of the way, I know that it's a breeze from there as far as
all downhill from there.
Are you making your brines and stuff ahead of time, or in sauces? You or are you doing a contest?
So that depends, Logan. It depends on the travel. I mean, if like when I did Florida and we had to fly down there, I did those. I think either Thursday night or Friday morning. I just something because I wasn't there. But I like to, if I can make it. I used to always do them on Wednesday night, and then I got to a point where I was doing them on Thursday. So if I can get them done Thursday, I feel good. Especially if I'm going to be driving and pulling out, going to a contest Thursday night. I just, for me, I'm in such a better groove if I get to the contest and I pretty much have everything done.
Right.
With the trimming, the injections, the rubs, all that sauce, all that stuff. So I try to get that done by Wednesday or Thursday. The rubs and injections and things like that. But I will do my I'll do the other meats. Everything's done before I go to the contest. All my meats are trimmed.
Sure.
With the exception of if I get to, like when I went to Florida, I had some guys wanted to butcher chops down there. They bought me some butts down there, so I did have to trim those. But I'm getting to the point where I love it when I can get to a contest on Thursdays. I used to always get there, especially local. If it was 4 or 5 hours, I would always leave Friday. Get there Friday, midday Friday. But now it's a comfort thing as well, just being able to pull in on Thursday, get set up. And it's just something about waking up on Friday morning and already being at the contest,
Right.
A small team, I started off as a solo cook and got married almost 2 years ago. Now my wife's been rolling with me, but, just packing, getting that trailer packed up and everything, and then doing the long drives and getting there. And then you got to set up, pull everything, pull those drums out and things like that. I just feel better if I can get those things done on Thursday. And that way on Friday, I'm looking at waking up, midday, getting meat inspected and getting ready to do the, injections or whatever I have to do.
Right.
But so I'm trying to make Thursdays my travel day. Like a lot of these long trips, we may leave like Wednesday after work or something like that and drive through the night. We've kind of got it down to a system with the driving. And my wife, she will help me if I need, help, but we get in there and we throw on some podcasts or something like that, or some good Sirius XM music. Find those different stations, and we just get going, and we make a good trip out of it. And it's good windshield time for the two of us, just being in there.
That's good.
Absolutely. So now, since we're on the subject of chicken, a lot of people use Game Changer, and were you using Game Changer? When
I have used, I used Game Changer for a long time, but it's become a challenge. It has been, till they pulled the plug, the end of last year,
right.
And it's a good thing, but we've seen all of these replacements pop up, and so I've been doing some testing, just trying to see what direction I'm going to go. These guys, obviously they're winning with what's out there. I'm not going to name names, everybody knows them, but it's just trying to find what works for you. So I'm doing some testing.
There's a lot of good ones out there. Like I said, I feel like when Game Changer went off the market, there was a lot of brands that kind of tried to fill that void. Because I almost felt like that was like the standard standard thing everybody used. It wasn't a secret. It was one of those things like, at some point, people use Blues Hog and Game Changer. that was a constant in of competition barbecue. But I know for me, like I said personally, so last year when I was using, I had a couple of gold bags. Game Changer I still had left, and my chicken scores, I was always really good in the chicken scores. And then like whenever I ran out of that bag, I didn't realize like how big of a deal brine was, like flavor wise. That tells you how stupid I am. And then I switched to another brine, and my scores just went, that drop. They dropped pretty, significantly. And I was like, man, really? And I finally found like for me personally, I said the Peep Show, which I said on my show before. I've really found that it's helped my game up tremendously. But I know there's a lot of great ones out there coming out all the time. It's just you got to find the one that suits your flavor profile, I guess. My palate, I'm not that guy that I really haven't gotten to the point where I can taste much of a difference with the brines or the effect that a certain brine has as far as taste wise. So that's why I'm doing side by side comparison cooks, just trying to figure out, see if I can figure out who's doing what different,
with
Right.
those brines, because I mean, for one thing, I guess you're trying to get some phosphates in there and
Mhm.
get that meat hold that moisture in there. But some of them they're putting flavor in there as well. So
Right.
it's going to be, it's one of those things everybody's got to fill out. I'm sure people did a massive buy on Game Changer when they made the announcement.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. I know three people. They got a lot of it left.
Yeah, but the thing is that it seems like a good deal of them are trying to emulate what Game Changer was doing. So
Yeah.
I think you're still going to be in the ballpark when if you use some of these brines that have hit the market. But at the same time, you're still going to when it comes down to that tenderness and that rub and that sauce that you're going to be putting on it towards the end. If you're saucing, that's the judge is going to taste that. So.
Absolutely.
Everybody's chicken is different,
Sure.
or everybody's 4 boxes are different. I'll say it like that.
Right. Absolutely.
Sure.
No. So whenever, like I said, I talked to a lot of I'm a nerd. And I've kind of nerd out. And I'm really trying to put the hammer down this year and get my program right to get to not to your level obviously, but I'm working my way up there. But my thing last year was inconsistencies, I guess, with because I kept seeing globs and dark spots on my chicken when I turned it in, and somebody told me it was my rub. When I layered my rub on there, it was inconsistent. I guess like layers. I was putting too much on one and not enough on the other. So somebody told me, that if you blend your rubs together and do it evenly spread, do you think when it comes to for chicken, for specs, to get a nice even rub on there is an important thing when it comes to appearance scores, or is it kind of just whatever you go to flow? I mean, obviously anything you don't have to answer. I just
no problem. It's funny because for one thing, it's going to depend on the judge. There's some judges out there that watched Barbecue Pit Masters, all those shows, and they think that they know
sure
what they're doing and what they and that's one of the things. We got the J Cup that's supposed to try to bring everybody into the same ballpark, but I don't know how much how effective that's been. But when it comes to the chicken and the rub, me personally, I just try not to get too heavy. For one thing, a lot of those rubs they have sugar in them, and when that chicken cooks, it's gonna get dark, those spots. But you do want, I try to make it even, as I go. So to do all that, I just try to keep it light, just get a nice light coating. I've done it many different ways. You see, some people will hold each piece of chicken and put the rub on. You see some people just put them down and hit them all at the same time. To me, I just want a nice even coverage, layer of rub on there, and it's let it do. I don't want it to get real dark because that's when you're going to run into your situation that you may be talking about. You're going to have dark spot, big clump, clouds of
especially with the butter bath or whatever, you'll clump up together.
Yeah,
sir.
But I don't know. Like I said, chicken's that thing. I'm putting a lot of research in, so a little R&D on in this area over here.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah, but that's that's my schedule for the week. It's I start on the week of and
work your way through.
We take it from there. We get there Thursday and Friday, and when I get to the contest, I try to set up. Towards the end of the year, I started using my concession vending trailer to take the competition. So it's a little bigger, but I still have to I'm bringing my drums with me, so I have to, and they go inside, so I have to roll those out and just get everything set up.
Are you a Gateway guy or Hunsaker guy or what?
I'm Gateway drum smokers.
Yeah.
Okay.
I've been that way for the last, pretty much since I really got into this thing. I started off with a tailgate trailer smoker that I used to pull behind my truck, and it had the offset reverse flow in the back. We had the grill next to it. And that didn't last long. I bought one drum, started using that, and then next thing I know, I had 3 more being delivered. So I roll with 4 gateways, and I love what I can't say enough about them because I owe a lot of my if you want to call it success in competition barbecue to those guys over at Gateway Drums and as well as Blues Hog. Blues Hog.
Tim does all right, man. He makes
real good guys. I love those guys. They've been nice to me, and you meet everybody's pretty cool for the most part in competition.
Oh yeah, yeah, they're all great.
They embraced me. They reached out to me and we talked, and I took the classes and everything, and I just love those folk out there. So shout out to them.
Yeah, oh, yeah, man,
sir.
for sure.
So, I have a question for you, and probably it helps some of my beers too. So, how long did it take you guys to figure out your programs, what worked and what didn't work? And how long do you think, in your opinion, does it take before you start tweaking a recipe, trying to see if it helps out or not?
Sure. Sure. Well, so like I said, I started in 2018 and did like 3 contests. And I was flying blind, didn't really know. I mean, I thought I had good food. And if I gave anybody out walking up and down the street that food, they would say it was good food. But it took me a minute to realize that competition barbecue is a whole different animal. And so I realized that I had to learn what those judges were looking for in competition. And so I learned, got to the point where I took a class. And that's when I really realized that I was flying blind. I pretty much didn't have a chance with what I was doing. So I made a change that next year or two. I think I went the second year, 2019. I did a number of contests, but I took a class in there and I started making some changes to what I had already been doing or learned, because I was pretty much self-taught at that point. Watching YouTube and things like that. But then I took a live class. Apocalypse Now had a class up here in the Mid Atlantic, and I learned a lot from there. I mean, not just from what I was doing, but but fine tuning, making adjustments to my timeline, things like that. I had a timeline, but it really wasn't refined. I had to really, lock it in with what was going to work for how I was cooking, what I was cooking on, things like that. So I started working on that. After I took that first class, and then I got to drums, and I took another class, the hot and fast class, and I learned to pull different nuggets from different classes. So
Right.
Each classes, I've walked away with something from each class and implemented it into my program, and it just came about. I think I got my first that second year after I took that first class at the last contest of 2019. I think I got my first 180 in pork in Currituck, North Carolina, and that was the first. That might have been my first top 5 or 10, something like that. But it started coming around. After I took I put it on the class. The classes helped me try to start dialing this thing in. And then each year, after I took the hot and fast class, first contest after that one. I had very good results, and you just start, you start looking at your scores, and is it a taste issue or is it a tenderness issue? I try to take little notes. Did I like what came off of the drum? Did I do it the way I thought I wanted it to be, and little things like that. You just kind of build upon that. That's how I did with the chicken. I learned things from different guys, and I even cooked with one team one year. And to me, it was worth the wait and go. I mean, to me, that was a class in itself. Just cooking with it, and watching how they execute everything, and and it's not all about the recipes and things, because you're going to get to that. You're going to find out what you like and what you think the judges like. But learn how to cook that meat, and dial it in and get that tenderness the way you want. How to build the boxes. I think right now it's kind of systematic a little bit, for my wife and I, because we know, how we like for our boxes to do. Some things you're gonna make calls, at turn in time. You can say, this is no good. I can't put this in the box or whatever. But you go in there. You go in, just like football. You play, I play competitive sport. You go in with a game plan. You got your timeline. You got your meats. You know what you're working with. And you just try to do the best with what you have, and it's just coming around. I think you get a certain level of consistency in your cook the more you cook. I've noticed when I do a contest and then I take 3-4 weekends off and then do another contest. Sometimes I feel like I'm out of sync. Like
Absolutely.
Like, what do I do next? What do I do next? But when I'm doing 3-4 contests in a row. It's like clockwork. You just get in there, you get it going, and I seem to see have more success that way. And it could be my age. I'm getting old. I can't remember everything. I'm like, what do I put in this? What do I do next?
Hey, you always forget something, man. That's every comp. I always forget something.
Yeah,
Yes,
yeah,
sir.
yeah. So it's just I think you get that consistency. You just got to get out there and cook. Some people can get out there and do 10 contests a year and do well. I just I'm not doing 33 contests this year, but I think if you want to be in those team of the year races, you need to do a good number of contests. And sometimes you find your way in there. You're up on the board and you're like, oh, now I got to go cook this or whatever. But but just to be a good cook, it's just like anything. Practice makes perfect. And
Absolutely,
you just got to get back there and practice. I will be honest, I'm not the guy that practices like I used to practice when I started. Cooking at practicing at home and what have you. But if you're cooking every weekend, you'll know what you need to work on.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Man, let's lighten things up a little bit. I said I know in our trailer, AJ can attest to it, man. We like to turn up the tunes, and we have a certain playlist for certain proteins and stuff like that. What's on the you a music guy? Like what's on the playlist in the Good Googly's trailer?
Well, one of the things I like with the Sirius XM, out of there, a couple of stations, I like the Groove, which plays a lot of old school R&B.
Yeah, man.
Stuff, even stuff that's before my time, but stuff that I was listening to as a kid, but it was what my parents were listening to. Some of those things, Casey and the Sunshine Band, stuff like that. It just gets me amped up.
Mm-hmm.
But then as it goes later on in the morning, Saturday morning, big hip hop fans, so we really get it going. We let it fly, and sometimes I just have to close the door, because you don't know who's outside. Yeah, but I like to crank it up. You just get in that rhythm with that.
You gotta get hyped.
Yeah, it really gets you hyped up. And sometimes like we'll be like, wait a minute, what's wrong? It's too quiet in here. I was like, because you don't have the playlist playing. So we really try to dial it in with the music. My wife has a playlist that she creates that we do on Friday night when I'm sitting there, maybe doing injections, and she might be building the boxes and things like that. And it's real chill, but it's
you can say Taylor Swift. It's okay. It's okay.
Yeah, that's on the playlist, man. Yeah, no, but I like a lot of the old school stuff. R&B and hip hop. I'm in my 50s, so I've been around for a while, and I've seen it all. I'm not as big a fan of the newer hip hop stuff, but I'm old school hip hop. It's all mixed in.
You got the same music in our trailers. I promise you, man. I'll do old school hip hop. I'll go Run DMC to Jay-Z to all the Nas, and then I'll jump forward. There's some DJs we listen to, like house music, that do mashups of people, and we're dancing. AJ, I'm 6'9", I'm a big guy, and AJ will park next to me, and he'll look over like, what the hell is he doing? Dance like nobody's watching. I'm like,
yeah. I mean, it's good to loosen up, right? On Saturday mornings, you get that music going, and it kind of takes some of that pressure off. You're not as tight,
Exactly.
And I think that's what the music does to you. It's go time. When you hear certain songs kick in, and it's getting close to that 11 o'clock hour, that 11:30 time. And you just ready to roll.
Absolutely, man. Absolutely.
So, man, just thinking about all the contests you've been at, what would be your greatest failure in barbecue? Like when something went wrong, the worst thing you ever turned in, something like that, to that nature.
Still got to call. We love the funny stories.
Yeah.
Well, I tell you, I actually turned one of my failures into a motivational thing, and that was that second year, I think 2019, and we were late turning in our pork box by a few seconds.
Oh no!
And it was my fault, but that was one of those things I really hadn't dialed in my timing and things like that. And I had an idea when I sent my box out with my brother to go turn it in, and you see him coming back, that walk of shame. He just missed it by a matter of seconds, and that was a learning thing for me, because he said, man, it was like 1 or 2 seconds, late or whatever. I was like, it doesn't matter, brother. We learned it. And so at that point, I made, a commitment to myself to try to never, have a DQ, in a category because of something like that. And you think, I mean, it's a learning thing, but I'm still working on it even today, because my wife, she'll tell you there are plenty of times when I have her running to that table with that box to get it there on time. But it's just, I don't know, sometimes I get caught up. It might be the perfectionist in me, and I'm just trying to get that box the way I want it. You know, I'm trying to clean it up. I'm trying to make sure stuff is laying right in there. And I see the clock, and I'll walk it off at a contest to try to see, how much time do I have to get that in there. But okay, so you get in there, you get your chicken in. Your chicken's fine. That's your first one of the day. But it only takes one of those meats to get you behind on everything else, And it's the pork show that really I usually take all that time trying to get my pork together, and so if there's usually something that we're going to be cutting it close, it's usually pork. By the time I get to brisket, once that pork's turned in, I kind of breathe a sigh of relief, because with the brisket in Master Series, you got a little time, and it's not as much. That brisket's just sitting there ready for me to make that. Yeah, so that's my where I get a little breath of relief. I'll turn the air, because I have a tendency to want to turn the air conditioner off in the trailer. So now we're sweating and everything, but I'm trying to keep my meats, from getting cold or whatever. And sometimes we get to a point where we just can't take it anymore. I'm sure we get down in Alabama, in the summer or whatever, and it's just so hot.
I'm the same way, man. When we doing chicken, ribs, pork, whatever, Dustin, man, I turn that AC off because I'm like, you don't want to get my meat cold.
Yeah.
And man, it is awful. You talking about when you slicing pork ribs, I'm like sweating. I'm like, me. Grab a towel, wipe my head off, man. I'm like dripping all over the place.
It doesn't take long. The moment you turn it off, so we'll turn it back on. Like after she takes the box, I tell her, I'm great, pull the meat out, pull it out. We got to turn it off real quick. So.
Hey, you rub your body down with baby oil and stuff when you walked out, trying to impress me whenever I see you walking out.
No, that's sweat, man.
That's pure sweat right there. That's pure sweat.
Magic Mike at the barbecue contest. Come on now.
Oh man. And does it make a difference? I don't know, but it's just you're always just trying to give yourself
superstitious.
Yeah.
No, so I always like asking all of our guests here because everybody has a different answer to it. But when you think of success in barbecue, who is on your meat Rushmore?
Oh wow. Well, of course you've got the greats, the ones who've been doing it for a number of years. When I hear guys saying, I've been cooking since the 90s or the 80s or early 2000s, I didn't even know it existed. I'm a young guy at that time, didn't even know this type of thing existed back then. But everybody's going to say your Myron Mixons, but I've grown to be a good fan and friend. I like Tuffy Stone. He's a good guy. He's right down the road and about 2 hours away in Richmond. But I like what he's done with barbecue. Not just his accomplishments, what he's won and what have you, but so some of these guys, I just like them the way that I look at them as ambassadors of barbecue,
right?
And it just trying to take it. A lot of them are traveling around the world, trying to push barbecue to other countries and what have you. But and then not only that, they're willing to part with their knowledge and teach classes, and they come out with these rubs and things. So Tuffy's a good guy. I just met Chris Lilly. He love the guy. We just, the thing is, you see these guys or whatever, you hear about them, and then you meet them, and they're the most down to earth people, and you look up to them for what they've achieved. But at the same time, I look at one of the guys who's helped me tremendously. I look at what Brad Leineger's done, in the past 5 years. How can you not put him up there, for what he's done? And and there's different times. We're in different times. I don't know what it was like back then. Back then they said nobody told you how to cook this and that. You had to figure it out on your own, or go on to the message boards and stuff like that. Now anybody can get right on YouTube or get on these classes, online, or go take a class and learn and jump right and be right in it. The learning curve is real small now compared to what it is. So, but you look at what Brad Leineger has done. Who out here wouldn't love to be in the shoes that he's in for what he's achieved?
He's the GOAT, man. He's Tom Brady. I say that many times.
Yeah, and I've just gotten to know Darren Worth and Tim Sheard. These guys, I mean, they've been around for a while, and so these are the ones that, as I was coming in, I'm seeing them. I'm hearing their names winning. But even here locally, I've got guys that I really look up to and who really embraced me and were there for me as I was coming along. You got Charles Krillin with Wolf's Revenge, Urkel. Urkel with Uncle Pigs. We've all become very good friends, and I really appreciate what they've done. I look up to them and what they've accomplished because we're here in the Mid Atlantic and it's a little different. But it seems like a lot of the it's the Kansas City Barbecue Society, right? So it's a lot. It started out there in the Midwest or what have you, but we've got teams all around the country and all around the world now. So and they're different judging, depending on where you go, what have you. But just to see people in other regions, holding it down, in certain areas. You could go up to the Northeast, and you got Bill Gillespie, Smoking Hog. There's so many people that I just admire what they've done. So to have a Mount Rushmore, it's kind of tough because if we're talking competition barbecue or we're talking a certain era, things like that. Just overall,
something different. So
say it again.
I said, yeah, that's why I like asking that question because everybody has more of a different mindset. Like I said, I'm more of a business mindset. So like Tim Shear, like I said, he's got everything but trophies that he does, and then Heath Riles, all those guys.
You look at these guys. I mean, you speak of Tim Shear. You look at a guy who didn't even cook last year, but then he pulls into a contest that we did down in Arkansas last year, Smoke on the Water or something like that, and he GCs that. So when he cooked 2 contests of the year, and he comes right down and a GC. I mean, that's talent. They say he's got a palate. He knows what's good, and
he's raising the hogs. Like he's like, yep, that's Wilbur's ribs, and I want Sally's hams.
That's right. That's right. But even what you want to talk about accomplishment? Look what they did when they went to Memphis in May. Him and Brad, just to go out there, game changer with the big drums and things like that.
Yeah, they're definitely a trendsetter and a paver of the way for a lot of the new guys coming up in barbecue.
Yeah, but when I first started, like I said, I did a lot of YouTube stuff, and if I could give credit, I would have to give credit to people like Malcolm Reed, Harry Sue, even Sylvia Curry over at Lady of Q out there in California. I used to watch all of their videos. I mean, now there's so many more people and so many other videos you can watch. But back then, I mean, Malcolm was my guy. I'm thinking about the old videos when he was in the kitchen, at the different house. It's that way. I studied those things, those videos, and Sylvia Curry's tips on how to do those boxes and things like that. I mean, seeing how she trimmed ribs, and that's just it. Over time, all of that, it's a potpourri of all that. You just take it all and build your program. I'm still using stuff that I first learned in 2019, So,
right. No, absolutely. So, I think everybody's first contest, everybody cooked Malcolm Reed program.
Yeah. I mean, 2018, when it came to competition videos, I had him,
that's all I had.
Yeah. Yeah, and Harry Sue, I started seeing the Harry Sue stuff, but you can also throw yourself off sometimes when you look at videos, right? So I would start looking at stuff, and they were cooking on different equipment, So you listen and you say, "Oh, okay, I cooked this at 275 or whatever." Yeah, but for a certain amount of time. Well, 275 for 30 minutes on this is not 275 on this for 30 minutes. You know what I'm saying? So it was a learning thing in there too, to try to figure out or cross over what I've learned from them and apply it to my own program. So there's little things you have to watch out for, and then it's just when you watch those things, you have to make it your own. I say,
right, absolutely. So, man, if you could change one thing about barbecue, what would it be?
Ooh,
competition barbecue.
Competition barbecue.
Yeah, competition barbecue.
Well, I mean, we talk about trying to make it a level playing field, right? So let's be honest. Some people have access to better meats than others. They can procure. You got guys that have restaurants. They can go right in the cooler and have 30 briskets in the walk-in and can pick out whichever one they want. if that's what they're doing. And I'm not knocking it, but me personally, I have to take what's shipped to my front door. Whatever they put in there, and I'm stuck with it. So I just spent $225 on something that I have to use, whether there's a gash in it or a butcher cut, or there's no fat cap under, or the flat is thin, or things like that. So we've done a couple contests out here, Ironman competition, where everybody was limited to what they could cook. But we've also done contests where they supplied the meat. There was one contest we did in North Carolina where they supplied the meat, and but even then, is it still level? Because every cow is different, every pig is different, every chicken is different. It's just a matter of what they ship. So, but it's I don't know. You have some people. It can become a money contest. Who has the money to give themselves the best chance? Week in and week in and week out. Let's be honest. To do 30-some content, it takes a lot of money, and and some people's everybody's pockets aren't the same. Some people have deeper pockets than us. So, if you want to believe that everything is equal and level come Saturday at these competitions, but there's so many things you have to contend with. The judging, the team. You've got teams out there struggling under a tent, while some guys are sitting there in luxury of an RV. So and I was one of them. I've been in storms and what have you out there in those tents. But is it fair? Well, that's one more thing that a guy under a tent is having to deal with on Saturday morning when it's a torrential downpour versus the guy that's in the RV.
Sure.
So kind of answering your question, is there a way to make it a level playing field? I don't know, but if they could just continue to do things to try to make it somewhat fair and even for everybody, and try to get, if we could just get this judging right,
right.
I think they're on the right track in KCBS to get the judging together with the J Cup. That was a great start, but then you have some judges who don't want to take it. You have some judges that are stuck back in the older days with their judging styles and what have you. So I think we have to get that judging, get it together, because you can go one place and put a box in on Saturday morning and score very well, but you can take that same box and take it somewhere else and it hit a certain table, you've got those angel tables and you've got those killer tables. So they got to figure out a way to try to bring it together, because when you put all that money into competition barbecue, you don't want to walk away disgusted.
You want your fair shake.
Yeah. And I'm not one. Maybe in the beginning, there may have been times you sit there and you complain about the way you would judge, but I'm to the point now where I see it that it's just a part of this game that we play right now. Yeah, that's just the way it is. Will they be able to fix it? Can it be fixed? I don't know. But if we're going to see, even when they put the J Cup out, I told the guys, I said, it's going to get worse before it gets better with this J Cup, because everybody has their own interpretation of what, we know taste is subjective. So we just have to see where it goes, but that's my thing. I just want them to try to improve. We don't want the type of problems that they had at the American Royal. Get the judging thing together.
Right.
So you don't want people questioning, did they get the right scores? Was that their score? What have you, things like that. Just keep it fair.
Absolutely. No, I think we're all on the same page with you there. But hey, right now, man, it's our my favorite time of the show. It's the Brothers Q Barbecue Supply Lightning Round, man. We're gonna hit you with about 6-7 questions, man. Just think one answer. Don't think too much, man. It's all light and easy.
All right.
Take it away, brother.
All right. Yeah, man. So here we go. The first question we got is favorite thing to cook at home.
Favorite thing to cook at home right now is the pork belly.
I think say crab.
Favorite category to cook.
Favorite category to cook. Actually, it's chicken. Yeah, I'll say chicken. Okay, so it's probably because of the success that I've had in chicken, but I am trying to improve in those other categories, because I just don't want to be successful or seen as successful in that one category. But go ahead. You said these quick hitters.
You're fine. So this next question is you can pick anything except your thermopin. So the question is, one thing that you always have in your trailer.
One thing I always have in my trailer, my speaker, my Bluetooth speaker.
You answer.
Yeah.
Go.
But if it had to be for if it had to be for cooking, now I just give you a 2-part. I love my disposable cutting boards.
Okay.
Those are good, man.
Deal. Those are good. Your go-to meal when you're at a comp?
Mexican food. My
Awesome.
wife and I, we always trying to find a good Mexican restaurant. It's almost like it's just one of those things. I mean, that's like Friday night. If I can get everything done, we'll shoot out, get a good margarita and some Mexican food.
There you go.
What is one thing that you know now that you wish you knew at the beginning of your barbecue career?
Ooh, I wish I knew I was gonna be throwing all this let all this money leave my pocket and go to this thing that we call competition barbecue. It's been an expensive. It really has been an expensive thing. And sometimes when you sit there and you look at the bills add up and you think about what you could have done with that same money. But you know what? That being said, I wouldn't change a thing.
Too hard.
Yeah, no, but that being said, I wouldn't change a thing because it's what I love to do. I told myself I'm cutting back this year, and it's just hard to walk away. But there are other things that I'm trying to do this year. But like I said, I've already got 10 contests that I'm got my eyes on before we even get to July. So we'll see how that goes.
Understand that. So if you could have a walk-up song at a contest, what would it be?
Right now, our walk-up song is Project Pat's Googly Moogly.
Googly Moogly.
That thing is juicy. That thing is juicy. That's our song.
That's awesome, man.
What's the guy?
That's what we're gonna be hearing. First Place Chicken down at Smoke on the Shore. Then, huh?
I hope so. I've already seen
Googly Moogly. Man, that chicken is juicy.
I still don't know which one. I turned in 2 songs. I turned in Reading Rainbow theme song. And I turned in something. I forgot something else I turned in. I kind of want to tell him just do Reading Rainbow if I get my name called. I'm like, everybody be singing along.
Right. It's funny though, because when you hear that song, you know it's you, right?
That's right.
But the key thing is to get there and make sure you get your song played, right? You want
to man. At least once.
Yeah.
Once.
No, man. Dude, Norris, thank you so much for being on, man. I truly appreciate it, man. You've been a fantastic guest, and man, I wish you all hail the Chicken King, man. Congratulations on your great award last year, man. That's a tough thing to get. I mean, rarely anybody gets those. I know the grind you probably had to go through to get that, and I wish you many more success. But do you have any sponsors or shout outs you want to give before we let you go today?
Yeah, sure. I got a number of guys that I've partnered up with that have helped me with this competition barbecue. I've got a Royal Oak charcoal. I use their charcoal at a competition, and I've already mentioned Gateway Drum Smokers, Blues Hog. This year, when it comes to my pork, I've partnered up with Mudville, Prime Pig, his products. He's got some good products for pork that I'm using this year. Actually, I've been working with him behind the scenes the few previous years, but he's got some good products there. Once again, Springer Mountain Farm chicken. We're rolling with that, and I like my Prairie Fresh products. So. I hate start naming things like that because then you always forget somebody. But it's at the same time, I'm still trying to use what works. That's going to help me hear my name called on Saturday morning or Saturday evening. So, but all of these guys have been there for me in my corner and helping Good Googly Goo Barbecue do what we do. I just tell people to keep up with us. You can follow us on social media. It's just my wife and I. We're doing the traveling. I started off by myself, but we're the dynamic duo of Good Googly Goo Barbecue.
There you go, man.
Awesome, man.
Well, dude, I can't wait to meet you in person when you come down to Lebanon, man. It'd be good to see you, buddy, man. And like I said, man, thank you so much for being generous and coming on our show. And look forward to have you on here again sometime, man.
Yeah, sure. Anytime, man. Thanks for having me, guys. And I really enjoyed this. These things are fun to me, to sit back and talk. I do apologize for the mix up with the audio earlier.
No, man. That's what makes it fun, man.
It's embarrassing, you get all set up. So we even did a mic check and everything behind stage beforehand. But yeah, thanks for having me. And I wish you guys the best this year. Are you planning on cooking much this year?
I think probably about doing around 15 to 20.
Yeah, about 15. Probably around 15. I'm gonna try to slim it back this year. My wife might kill me if I do as many as I've done last year.
You said that last year too. I don't believe you.
Well, whatever y'all do, I do wish y'all the best.
Thank you, man. Thank you so much.
Thank you, man.
All right. See you, buddy.
Thanks.
Woo, that was fun,
That was awesome, man. That was awesome.
Always something, man. Always something. I love it, man. A fantastic guest, fantastic guy. That man's a 180 walking machine, dude. It's insane, and I'm sure we'll be hearing good googly name called down there at Lebanon. But man, that's our show today. Thank you so much for sticking with us today. Sorry for the technical difficulties, but that's what you get when you get a live show.
Yes,
so,
sir.
Yeah, man. AJ, you got anything else you want to say before we head out?
The only thing, man, is make sure to check out on the Right On Cue podcast page where we'll be posting that link for pre-registration. Also, a good barbecue festival double May 4th and 5th. 2 ancillaries, margarita, and tacos.
Amen, brother.
Don't miss out.
Tacos and margs.
Only 40 spots available, man. Y'all better get in. Good thing is he only requiring, I think 50% deposit and just pay the rest when you get there. So
there you go,
baby. Not too heavy on your pocket.
You'll see our 2 beautiful cells right here, man. We'll be there for sure, dude. But
also Friday, fish fry. It's gonna be great.
Fish fry, man. Oh, this guy's cooking. I'm eating it. No. All right, man. But here, as always, on Right On Cue podcast, when it comes to barbecue, make sure you're always right on cue. Thanks, everybody, man. Cheers.
See y'all.
Yes, sir.
That's all, folks.